video, we're going to discuss block inputs and outputs. So as you can see, we have our empty workflow in front of us. And if we wanted to drag a function block onto the canvas to demonstrate exactly how this works, we can see here on the right is the editor. So this is where all the different subblocks are, which can be populated with information. So for example, if we wanted to return a basic string, we can return hello. We'll go ahead and run the workflow, and we can see in our output we have a result and a standard out. So every single block output is going to be represented by a JSON. This is also the same for an input. So in the input we can see all of the information that we input into the block. The output is a JSON. Another example of this is the agent block. So if we drag an agent block onto the canvas, we can say respond to the user. And so if we run this workflow, we can see that the agent block returns some content and some metadata in a single JSON object. And so this is, across the board, what's going to be returned for any kind of block is this structured output JSON that you see here. Now, if we head into the toolbar, we can select a integration block. So for example, let's do Google Docs. And so this Google Docs block, like many of our other integrations, has a few different operations. And so depending on what operation you select, not only will the input parameters be dynamic, but the output will also be slightly different. So for example, if we wanted to create a document, we can say, this is a new doc. We can give it some content. We can say, hello world. And so if we run this workflow, we will have created a new document here. And so to access that document, we can go to this URL and we can see our new document here. Now, where this gets interesting is if you have a block, there is generally many types of ways to access the parameters. So if there's multiple drop-downs, you can select a drop-down. We have a feature to create a input parameter from a drop-down. This is called advanced mode. So in advanced mode, if you click this gear, you can see that the input changed from a drop-down to a dynamic short input. And so what this allows us to do is pass in direct references to blocks with, for example, the ID of a specific document. So if I wanted to read this document, I can copy and paste the document ID, and I'll go ahead and run the workflow. And as you can see here, we have the content of the document that we just created here. And so this is kind of the standard practice among all the different blocks. So if you head into the toolbar, we can drag another block onto the canvas. So for example, let's do linear. So we can see here, linear advanced mode has a short input in place of the drop down here. So this is just a quick intro to the block outputs and inputs and how you can see and manage all the different inputs and outputs.